My next upload for today is with regard to the ongoing documentation of how my current abode has been used and abused by individuals that have been intruding, trespassing and violating. Now, my next upload is with regard to not only my privacy in my current abode being a place of spiritual violence and the basic aspects of any living conditions being mediocre, not just mediocre, but very, very, very dissatisfying, what I've had to tolerate since 2019, when artificially intelligent human beings and creative social influencers decided to persist, as I've mentioned yesterday, in the ongoing failed attempt of treason that was addressed in 2017, 2018, and that they have persisted to continue on with in 2019 up to the present date. Now, the issue that I'm raising with regard to my personal abode being trespassed upon, intruded upon, and being basically a crime scene of offenders against the state and offenders against my child and I, and repeat offenders of the agencies and bodies of local agencies that have been of slander, defamation, violations of human rights, most namely the right to freedom that was only since I became a married property owner and mother became an issue, when that incident of 2 unlawful detainments occurred based on slander yet again, and involved trespassing onto property and involved slander of character and misprescribed medication for a condition that is not actually present in my experience. So I've had damages to my head that have not been addressed by the relevant same said practitioners and agencies. I had to treat it myself. I also have chronic fibromyalgia, and I had deficiencies in certain minerals, etc., after my pregnancy that I've had to treat, and the physiotherapy I sought in 2018 was not provided, or any sort of treatment wasn't forthcoming. So there's an issue with my current abode now being a place of repeat offenders in and out, as I've mentioned, and basically of exacerbatory offences. So the issue of developments in healthcare and people's right to freedom, and these individuals that are assaulting my property rights and my family rights and my rights to information, and that are obstructing my correspondence and accessing my personal information. It's absolutely horrendous what I'm experiencing. So there's been absolutely no remorse, not a shred of dignity, and not a shred of culpability in this entire situation that has been brought formally to the relevant body and agencies' knowledge. So the issue that I'm raising in this upload is with regard to how my personal space and my personal experience has become an issue of public knowledge by individuals that have been artificially intelligent, superficially also with their practices, I might add, considering that I'm from sacred blood, of sacred blood, and that I am a avatar, light worker. There are many names for it. So a spiritual sentient being, basically. And I represent sanity and sobriety. So on that premise, there's the protection of recovery advocates also that are not to be imposed upon, and anonymity is paramount. So the issue of anonymity being exposed by individuals that have been less than the standard expectation of good practice and good behaviour and good ethics and morals, these people have just been waylaid with their obligations. They have cast them aside. They've been slanderous with their loose words, loose tongues, as I simply describe it. It's awful, really. So this matter is ongoing, and the issue of a person's anonymity being intruded upon by individuals that aren't qualified and that aren't legally entitled, and that have been involved in the damages to an innocent child. All these matters I'm contending with, and only for the grace of God and for the work I have done with the fellowship, I am a very grateful woman that with confronting such brazen, discourteous individuals with no regard for what they have claimed, and with having no experience of what they're saying, but that have brazenly violated my privacy and discussed matters that they have no first-hand experience of. So this entire situation is a disgrace to the Declaration, and it's a disgrace to the Constitution. These people have been causing problems in this community since 2006. So of a clean track record, I feel very, very self-aware of the implications for those that have done so wrong. They've wronged themselves and they've wronged their own families because they've shamelessly pursued a situation that they had no courage or bravery to resolve. So basically, my current abode is a crime scene where there are offences occurring by individuals of research practices and slanderous practices that they are not legally entitled to be conducting in this situation. And they have the audacity, after offending my child's upbringing since he was 2 years of age, they have the audacity to continue bulldozing into a personal space where they are not welcome. Now, the issue of my personal identity and my personal professional experience is one aspect, but of royal blood and of a spiritual purpose, these people that have tried to twist the tail the stories to their own liking have really embarrassed this entire situation. They've entirely embarrassed a circumstance that they were not welcome to be a part of. They're repeat offenders since 2006, and they are of exacerbation, and they're like the hounds waiting behind the trees, waiting to pounce. While the government since 2017 hasn't done a thing about my child being a missing person and people on my properties and my wealth being stolen from me. So this is what I'm tolerating. Now, the issue of individuals publicising my privacy and exploiting it for their own personal gains, that's a very dangerous offence, and I'm sure there's many women out there that wouldn't appreciate this experience happening to their daughters. So I'd like the ladies out there, the professionals, and all ladies, how would you like if your daughter was in my experience? Would you like it if their privacy was being perverted, or their daughter or son was being withheld from them unlawfully and legally a missing person? Would you like it if your daughter's wealth that they had earned and that were fully entitled to be spending, would you like it if there were other people helping themselves to your daughter's wealth? Now, there are people that have taken liberties in their own legal capacity to do illegal transactions with regard to my identity and my personal information. These people have been offenders against the state, and they've offended against my family name and my good reputation since 2006, and I'm bewildered with the fabulous transformations that have been uncovered since 2018. I'm bewildered how any dignified professionals are accommodating even further illegalities and more offences. It's just illogical. So those individuals that are of identity theft, this is another aspect of it. There's a spiritual identity that is earned. It's not a candy store, as I refer to it. You couldn't even walk into a Cartier store and pay for a diamond for what has been stolen from my light body. The cheek and audacity of individuals that have selfishly and maliciously and so crudely damaged sacred light are disrespecting so many facets of the life that we all live, of their own lives. They're putting lives in jeopardy. When you're sacred, there's another dimension. And these people are newbies and rookies, and they have experts on their journey with them to assist in very dangerous damage.